Here are 5 things God will show you in someone who is good for your heart. Number 1, they have a good awareness of healthy time frames for relationship milestones. All Christian relationships should have some similarity to each other because God has given us all principles to follow in the Bible. However, all relationships should not look exactly the same as each other because God has not given us exact formulas to follow in relationships. Someone who's mature and walking with the Lord will understand this, and they'll have a healthy relationship to the relationship milestones that need to occur. For example, how long you should be friends, when you should go on your first date, when you should become an official couple, how long you should date, when you should get engaged, when you should actually get married. These are things that are subjective, but they'll have a healthy awareness of what's good for you and for them, rather than sticking to like a rigid formula that has to be. Big picture, if someone is just way different than you and is going way too slow or way too fast when it comes to relationship milestones, this person is not good for your heart. Number 2, they respect your boundaries for guarding your heart, and they also express their own boundaries for guarding their own heart. So what do we really mean when we're talking about someone being good for your heart? What we're talking about is what it says in Proverbs 4:23, where it says, "Guard your heart above all else, for from it flows the streams of life." So what that means is that we have to have a right heart that's aligned with God so that we can obey God and follow Him and love people and basically do what's pleasing to the Lord. And someone who's healthy for you is going to not only be concerned with their own heart, but your heart as well. They're going to listen to the boundaries that you have for relationships, and they're also going to be expressing the boundaries they have for relationships. Now, this doesn't mean that you both should be shutting down and keeping each other away. Rather, it just means that you're going to be opening your heart in a healthy way that promotes life flowing out of it rather than hurt flowing into it. Usually this means that the more commitment that's offered, the more openness that should be offered, finally culminating with full openness when you have been given full commitment in the covenant bond of marriage. Number 3, they're just as concerned about your spiritual beliefs as you are about their spiritual beliefs. If someone is trying to shapeshift into the spiritual person they feel like you want them to be, this person's not good for your heart. What rather you want to see is someone who's just as concerned with assessing your spiritual capability, your spiritual maturity, as you are with them. They're not just trying to become whatever they need to be with you. Rather, just like you are, they are seeking to find someone that they're equally yoked with. Number 4, they are close to other people before they even met you. If you've ever done any type of weight training, you know that you should not expect to be able to lift as much weight as someone who's been weight training for a long time. In other words, the more weight you lift over a long period of time and the rest that you take, the more strength you're going to be getting. And it's very similar in relationships. You should not expect someone to all of a sudden be able to lift the weight that will be required in a growing relationship that leads to marriage if they've not been doing any type of relationship training in their singleness and before they've met you. Rather, through all the other types of relationships in their life, with their pastor, with their friends, with their members at church, with their family, with all the different co-workers and people, they're going to have good, healthy relationships and close to some of those people so that they're building those relationship muscles. And number 5, they're more concerned with discovering God's will for you both rather than trying to dictate God's will for you both. Forcing God's plan is not how you follow God's plan. Rather, as Christians, our goal is not to project our plan onto God, but rather to perceive and figure out by the Spirit's leading what God's plan is for us. Certainly, God has given us freedom, and God's plan includes are free choices, but an unhealthy person believes that it's their job to get God to do what they think God should do, while a healthy, mature Christian will rather seek to follow the plan that God already has in humility. Rather than trying to project their own will onto you, they will be trying to figure out God's will for you both. As Jesus taught us to pray in Matthew 6, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Don't forget to subscribe so you and I can stay in touch, and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. I'm Mark from ApplyGodsWord.com, and until next time, God bless.